is your DedSec initiation, Retro. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to bypass Bloom security doors and get inside. Then find and erase your personal CTOS profile.
Whatever they have on me, it's all bullshit. And I'm sick of getting harassed for it.
All the more reason for a purge. We'll be watching.
Try to keep up.
By the way, we put this playlist together to set the mood. Hope you like it.
Who wants to take this kid?
Backup! I need backup! There. Oh God, I'm trying to the only one left!
There, that... Shh, hold up. What's that? All right, come on, people. We got an intruder.
You're wasting your time. He's not in.
Gotcha.
So that's him.
He's got a gun. Is that a problem?
Well, problems are why you keep me around, right?
Time him. I'm curious.
Too late. He's in.
Already?
No idea.
No synonyms either. Give me a real answer.
I'm just not that into aliens. Video games.
It's not just any alien.
It's, oh, come on. Anyone else having a problem with their phone? What? Oh, God. Oh, God!
Who is he?
It's... Retro.
The home domain awareness hacker? That Retro?
Yes. We told you that already?
Yeah, I never listened. So what's his deal?
He was raised in Oakland, but was born in...
His deal is, he's been hanging around the DedSec IRC, and he's got cred. Figured we'd give him a test drive.
On the hardest difficulty. Nobody's been able to delete their CTOS profile before.
I want to see if he's smart, stubborn, or both.
shouldn't be here. Need cover! Anyone spot him?
Track him down.
No location on the suspect. Moving on. Looks clear. I'm gonna check another area.
Damn it! Sergeant, I lost him.
On your knee. Intruder! Over here! Going lethal!
Check your corners. This guy's really starting to get on my nerves.
CTOS 2.0 features is the integration of our software into consumer vehicles. By brokering deals with the top auto insurance providers, one of the most exciting CTOS 2.0 features is the integration of our software into consumer vehicles. By brokering deals with the top auto insurance providers, we can... One of the most exciting CTOS 2.0 features is the integration of our software into consumer vehicles. By brokering deals with the top auto insurance providers, we can offer large discounts to responsible drivers. Car owners will voluntarily install CTOS devices to help us monitor traffic, help with law enforcement, and to provide emergency services. With CTOS 2.0, you can expect less speeding, less traffic congestion, and fewer accidents. One of the most exciting CTOS 2.0 features is the integration of our software into consumer vehicles. By brokering deals with the top auto insurance providers, we can offer large discounts to responsible drivers. Car owners will voluntarily install CTOS devices to help us monitor traffic, help with law enforcement, and to provide emergency services. With CTOS 2.0, you can expect less speeding, less traffic congestion, and fewer accidents. And in the case of a major emergency, the CTOS can be granted limited control over the car itself.
Done this before.
CTOS tagged him as the prime suspect in a high-tech burglary, so...
He's done time?
Community service. Not enough evidence. Just the word of CTOS's predictive algorithms. Once in the system...
Always in the system.
Holy shit! He went for it.
You won't have much time before the backups kick in.
He's going in the hot aisle.
It's at least 120 degrees in there.
Give the man props. He's going the mile.
He's in the system.
Nobody's gotten that far. This is like the secret cow level.
What the fuck? Why's my threat so high? This is bullshit. Fuck. Or I could just... Just gonna drop a little backdoor into the system so I can get back inside later. Sorry, Bloom. We've got unfinished business.
He's heading out. Bag him.
Yeah.
Ethan's out cold. We got an intruder. Lock down the exit and send someone to check him out.
What was that?
Spread out and track him down.
check another area. Come out with your hands up! Get yourself up!
Target sighted!
He's hit!
Commencing sweep!
Give it up! It's clear. Moving on. Let's see what you got, hacker!
There earlier. I'll go take a look. There's something this way. Come on.
Take a look around. Looks like it's dead sec. Better send some more guys just in case. On my mark.
Hold it right there.
Help him.
Where the fuck am I go?
Josh!
Okay.
Fuck you, Bloom!
In 2013, Chicago realized the promise of smart cities with CTOS, a citywide operating system merging big data with surveillance, security, and transit programs. With a few hundred lines of code, hackers were able to hijack its central servers and cripple the entire grid. Many believed the attack would be a killing blow for smart city development. They were wrong. Coordinated from the heart of Silicon Valley, CTOS 2.0 has been implemented across the United States, ushering in the Internet of Things. 6.4 billion connected devices now serve as collection points, mapping and recording our daily routines, making a more secure and more invasive system. But who else is listening? Big Brother no longer works alone. Thousands of little brothers monitor and aggregate your every move, building a complete digital profile of you to be bought, sold, or stolen in an instant. Toys study your children, reporting their play habits back to marketers. Appliances, consoles, and home security systems give corporations a window into your private life. Control of your vehicle and mobile device can now be breached remotely by anyone at any time. You may think that you are immune or underestimate the risk, but your digital shadow is already compromised. Insurance companies use algorithms to monitor your life habits and limit or deny coverage. Health providers determine if your cancer is worth treating. Search results and news feeds are skewed to bias mood and influence your vote, engineering social uprisings on a massive scale. You are now less valuable than the data you produce. This is the new reality. Going dark is no longer an option. With threats to personal freedom rising, many are stepping forward. Whistleblowers, activists, and hackers have drawn their battle lines, putting the establishment on watch. But are they threats themselves, or have they become freedom's last line of defense? Freedom's last line of defense.
So, am I in?
Welcome to DedSec. I'm Satara. This sweetheart is Josh, aka Hot Sauce.
Yo, your hot sauce? Yeah, man, I loved your frat house hat. Real talk.
Thanks.
This weirdo's Wrench.
The needs of the many.
And this Casanova is Horatio.
What's up, brother?
What's up, man? It's the crew, huh? Took y'all long enough to come get me. Shit. You saw Bloom's bullshit. CTOS isn't just regulating infrastructure. The amount of personal data that thing is collecting is fucking mind-blowing.
Yeah. It's Big Brother and Little Brother all rolled up into one.
Huh?
Sees everything you do and tells on you.
Thank you, Josh.
So what's the fix?
Sledgehammers and fire. No! Sledgehammers on fire.
All of that data in one place means they can reject your fucking application before you click on it.
Congratulations, you have been pre-rejected for our credit card.
Or your house, or your insurance.
That's not even the worst case scenario. All that data in the hands of the government, they'll arrest you for shit before you even do it.
Yeah, I've been there. Now I fucking know why. Man, fuck it! Fuck it, man. We're hackers. We outthink, we out dare. I say we tear down the fucking wall. Hey, show everyone what Bloom's up to, man. Show the world that their personal data is being used to rob them of their fucking freedoms. Fuck. I installed a back door, so all we gotta do is walk right through. Hold on. What?
He installed the back door, so all we have to do is walk through.
Bingo.
Hey, man. Do you got the time?
Hell yeah, man.
I got it.
It's kind of late for a night run, isn't it? Hey, what are you running from the cops?
Maybe I am one.
Hey, you look familiar.
Have a good party.
King, this motherfucker. Fuck you, Bloom. I'm gonna go have a goddamn good time. Hello? Whose phone is this?
It's your new phone.
Where's my phone?
In the ocean, where you threw it, I think. I don't remember. I was pretty smashed. Look, meet us at the hackerspace.
Where?
Check your pics and figure it out.
Whose place am I in?
Cause I could never make you unhappy. No, I couldn't do that, girl. Only wish I could let you go. Makes it so very hard to know. Cause I love you so. Damn. I guess I was lit, huh?
Like Mardi Gras. Go get yourself something to wear, and I'll tell you where to go next. Oh, and you'll need your phone ready for operations. So hit the store and download your apps before you get here.
Damn, walk of shame on my first day.
Do me a favor. Stand over there. Yeah, no. I tried studying my head. Now that's a fucked up language. No wonder it died out. Even though what you're saying. Word, master's great. But the rest of the sentence can be jumbled up however you wish. Like, I can say something like, I to the dispensary yesterday, 2 kush. And that's perfectly legit and right. Although they wouldn't know that. Or this is bad. It's not training. I go to every open mic. These guys suck. Even if it's just polite, I can just shut myself off there and hammer out the songs. I've got some jokes, you know, like that kind of. I know what you're hired for. I keep telling this in my friends, just go on and just socialize. It's such a position. Everyone else puts themselves out there. I can't. I just can't. These guys may suck, but at least they try, right? Back. So, I was an idiot. Every open. Dad said, just have to ask. Guys suck. I want to win. Even if so, I eat it. And I said, I totally forget. I just I couldn't even finish it because my mind went like such a everyone else felt like themselves out there magnetically drawn to the back of my head. I just can't. These guys make it sound like it's an honest trouble, right? I thought I could just shut myself off in my heart and hammer out the songs in time for lunch. But that kind of isolation, on one of my breaks, I learned about how socializing overall mind activity, comprehension, what did it was when I realized I had written 4 songs in 2 days when they were all actually the same song, just over and over again. So I'm back. You know, I tried studying now that's a fucked up language. I wonder it died out.
Come on, man. Seriously? That's my coffee.
Last word of the sentence. But the rest of the sentence can be jumbled up however you want. Like, I can say something like, I to the dispensary yesterday, 2 kush. And that's perfectly legit and right. Although they wouldn't know what it is. Or a dispensary. I go to every open mic. These guys suck, but people love them. Even if it's just polite, fine. Just go up there and try. I've got some jokes, you know. I know what you're hiring, but I keep telling myself, here you go, just go up.
Come on, man.
You know,
Seriously? That's my coffee.
it's such a reason. I go everyone else puts themselves out on the limb. So I eat it. So about an hour goes by.
For Christ's sake!
Why is this one happening? Yeah. Hey. It is?
Oh man.
Nope.
Keep it together. I don't know. Anyone need help? Should I call an ambulance? Wait, what?
All right, Satara, so where you at?
Sending you the location and the passcode for the door.
Hello. I think you'll like our selection of racing kits. May you sail in balmy waters.
times? I'm saying, how many times do I have to tell you? Okay, whatever. Okay, I'll talk to you.
This.
Imagine it's yours. What the hell?
I can't believe my hand slipped. It must have been an earthquake. There's no other way I'd have messed up like that. I had to completely strip the paint off and then start from scratch. It sucked. But I gotta say, my miniature army is going to look amazing. What?
Yo, you interested in taking a turn? We need one more person to play. It's one of those new German games. Yeah?
Shit, that's free road. It won a golden ace. I'd love to, but I'm kind of running late.
Fair enough. Hi.
Hey, move. Yo!
Finally. So Josh and I spoke, and fucking over Bloom has been a long-standing project.
All right, you need two things to take down Bloom. You need to get people to rally behind your cause and separate you from the trolls.
And we need bots, and a lot of them to handle the data CTOS is processing.
Thank you, Josh.
We spent all night modifying our app so you can get followers to download the app, and we can use their processing power for the cause.
This is happening? It's really happening?
Yeah, man, this is happening. You better get to it.
Hell yeah, man! Barbarians are at the gate ready to bust some Roman heads.
Yeah, we're gonna focus on some high-profile ops, playing for exposure and laughs to get people to download our app. All right.
Don't worry. So it was really fun.
Marcus! Haha, check you out. Alive and dry. I wasn't sure after your moonlight swim. Come here. You've got to check this out. Behold, our very own open source research app. So, like, all of us here pool vulnerabilities that we find, and we encourage everyone to share their work, their research, etc.
Okay, so what's the research app do?
Widen our skill set? Make us irresistible to the gender of our choice?
What, so it's like a I know Kung Fu kind of deal?
If Kung Fu was a gender and not so 1999? Absolutely. Behold, the wonders of technology.
A 3D printer?
This is the army of printers. It is capable of pumping out an arsenal of lethal weapons down.
Seriously?
Yep. Once you master it, voila! Hipster merchant of death.
All good, except I'm no hipster.
You keep telling yourself that. Now try to make something. But don't blow up.
So we've been looking at this new guy, calls himself Retro. Now I like his style, spent some time in Oakland. In fact, that's where he earned some of his hacker cred. I read everything I could about it when it was going down. The Home Domain Center had to deal with Homeland Security. They rolled out cameras in Oakland and started stockpiling data on everybody. Somehow Retro got targeted by the thing and profiled him based on... DedSec found Josh, hot sauce, posting anti-CTOS videos on Invite. Kid had a plastic Halloween mask over his face, a skull. But like the worst dollar store skull you could find. You could see his eyes through it. Big no-no when it comes to avoiding a profiler. He had a distorted voice, but he didn't change his speech patterns. See, Josh, he's high-functioning autistic, which means he's got a very specific way of talking. Satara found him easily, but he wasn't at all what we expected. When you get down to pure coding, Josh operates on a higher level than the rest of us. We got to look at his CTOS profile, and all kinds of nasty flags popped up. Emotionally challenged, unstable, even a low mental maturity score. He's none of those things, and he quickly became the activist soul of our group. He has a black and white way of seeing things, fair and unfair, which means he can be refreshing and often hilarious. We caught a glimpse of the damaged CTOS Delta. Rejected care programs, cut funding, overcharges. We offered to help him make things right. When we met Josh, He had the right intentions and... The wrench. Man, what to say about this guy? Some freaky shit going on right there. I'd like to say he's actually a sensitive, charming guy beneath the harsh exterior. But I'm pretty sure he's a fucked up motherfucker all the way through. I don't even know who first recruited him. He just started showing up at local hacker spaces and building his tools of destruction. At first, I thought he was trying too hard. Like he was a FBI plant or something. But no agent is gonna pull the kind of suicidal stunts this guy does. I think the truth is, Wrench doesn't care if he dies. But he's not going quietly. Even so, I'm glad we've got the Wrench on our side. One of the group's biggest problems is lack of GSD. Getting shit done. The Wrench is pure GSD, and he brings his own sledgehammer. He's not some dumb thug either. I've seen some of his code. He's legit. Probably why he's interested in DedSec and not some street gang. You know what? I take that back. He might actually belong to a street gang. Who knows? One thing I do know about Wrench, the man hates Bloom. I mean, hates them. I can't get the why from him. It's obvious he wears the mask to avoid facial recognition, but what's he hiding from? He's not saying. The Wrench. Man, what to say about this guy? The Wrench. The original Chicago DedSec has coordinated operations, everybody mostly working towards the same goal. Rumors say that the leaderless group actually has somebody upstairs calling the shots, the Council of Daves. I can't say if it's true or not, but somebody's focusing their efforts. I know because I studied everything about them, even ran a few of their ops. I wanted to emulate them, try to figure out what worked for them and apply it to us. But the members of our Bay Area DedSec couldn't be more different from each other. Now, if there was a spectrum spanning anarchists to activists, we'd probably fill the whole damn thing. But there's one thing that unites the key crew. Each one of us has reason to hate big data, or more specifically, Bloom and its CTOS. I've been overseeing operations, making sure people get to where they need to be with the tools they require. I've got eyes on the big picture. The way I see it, I've lit the fuse. It's only a matter of time before Bloom feels the DedSec explosion. So we've been looking at this new guy, calls himself Retro. Now I like his style, spent some time in Oakland. In fact, that's where he earned some of his hacker cred. I read everything I could about it when it was going down. The Home Domain Center had to deal with Homeland Security. They rolled out cameras in Oakland and started stockpiling data on everybody. Somehow Retro got targeted by the thing and profiled him based on his computer skills and marked him as a prime suspect in the local high-tech robbery. The evidence was all digital. Nothing put him at the scene of the crime.
So what do you do around here for fun?
What do you mean? This is fun.
Yeah, but outside this place.
No.
Right. Nice talk, Josh.
Let's talk about Satara. She's been driving DedSec in the Bay Area. The hackerspace, she's paying for it with borrowed money. Every DedSec poster, every flyer, that's Satara. She's even had a hand in our core toolset. Found one of the first 0 days in CTOS 2.0. Some of the guys call her Madam President, but I see her as more of a pirate captain. She'll lead you to the treasure, but you piss her off, you're walking the plank. I had a long talk with her once. Found out where she gets her relentless drive. She's She's got rich parents back home in Calcutta, and I mean like drive a car in the house rich. They sent her to Ivy League schools, yes, plural, hoping to expand the dynasty, I suppose. But she didn't stick with it. She rejected their money too. Everything she's got now was taken from people she says didn't deserve it. Satara's seen her own relatives pulling strings, taking advantage. She says shit like that will never change because people at the bottom think they can't change it. And she says we're right at the heart of it now, with Silicon Valley pushing us towards a point of no return, replacing elite individuals with unstoppable corporations. Bloom makes the top of her hit list, and she calls CTOS 2.0 their preemptive strike on any opposition. Good to have another brother here.
Good to be here, man. Are you all hackers?
Yeah, kind of a basic requirement to get invited into the hacker space. But we all have our specialties, like Josh over there. Always building shit that shouldn't work. Now he's trying to build this big-ass drone.
And Wrench?
Good engineer, too. But better at breaking shit apart. And yo, Satara? Sis got skills as an artist and a graphic designer. Without her, DedSec's walking around without a face or voice.
What about you? What's your superpower?
Tactical coordinator, or cat herder. Take your pick. I make DedSec go where it has the most impact. You heard of Prime 8? Those are some real dirty hacking motherfuckers.
Yeah, I've brushed up against them before. It wasn't pleasant.
Alright, that's what I like to hear. Link up with me when you're ready to do this, and I'll fill you in. There's always someone running ops against Prime 8. Bet they'd love your help. So we've been looking at this new guy, calls himself Retro. Now I like his style. Spent some time in Oakland.
It's something, right?
This whole place is something.
We used to keep track of news feeds on here, but now it's our follower wall.
So it knows if we're trending?
No. It's based on hard values. How many people downloaded our app, how much processing power we have access to, you know.
Nice.
And, speaking of which, we're downloading the DedSec app into your phone as we speak. When it's ready, open it up, click the suggested op, and hit the park outside so we can test it.
Sounds good.
One more thing. I put a reminder on your phone so you remember what we're gunning for. Get enough processing power to take down Bloom.
You weren't about to admit to a flaw in their system. Retro got lucky. He got a judge that decided not to throw the book at him. So he ended up with community service. He says it wasn't a big deal because he got to work with the original Chicago DedSec has coordinated operations, everybody mostly working towards the same goal. Rumors say that the leaderless group actually has somebody upstairs calling the shots, the Council of Daves. I can't say if it's true or not, but somebody's focusing their efforts. I know because I studied everything about them, even ran a few of their ops. I wanted to emulate them, try to figure... The wrench. Man, what to say about... The original Chicago DedSec has coordinated operations, everybody mostly working towards the same goal. Rumors say that the leaderless group actually has somebody upstairs calling the shots, the Council of Daves. I can't say if it's true or not, but somebody's focusing their efforts. I know because I studied everything about them, even ran a few of their ops. I wanted to emulate them, try to figure out what worked for them and apply it to us. But the members of our Bay Area DedSec couldn't be more different from each other. Now, if there was a spectrum spanning anarchists to activists, we'd probably fill the whole damn thing. But there's one thing that unites the key crew. Each one of us has reason to hate big data, or more specifically, Bloom and its CTOS. I've been overseeing operations, making sure people get to where they need to be with the tools they require. I've got eyes on the big picture. The way I see it, I've lit the fuse. It's only a matter of time before Bloom feels the DedSec explosion. original Chicago DedSec has coordinated operations, everybody mostly working towards the same goal. Rumors say that the leaderless group actually has somebody upstairs calling the shots, the Council of Dave. So we've been looking at this new guy, calls himself Retro. Now I like his style, spent some time in Oakland. In fact, that's where he earned some of his hacker cred. I read everything I could about it when it was going down. The Home Domain Center had to deal with Homeland Security. They rolled out cameras in Oakland and started stockpiling data on everybody. Somehow Retro got targeted by the thing and profiled him based on his computer skills and marked him as a prime suspect.
The spiritual organization New Dawn is accusing Oakland City Councilor Miranda Kamei of defamation. In a recent interview, the councilor had described the organization as, quote, a fraudulent pyramid scheme. The organization seems to have fought back with more than just lawyers. The councilor's private life was recently revealed when medical records of the councilor's transgender treatments were mysteriously released to the media. A spokesperson for New Dawn said that the organization had nothing to do with the leaked medical records, and in her statement accused Councilor Kamei of desperately seeking attention.
The original Chicago DedSec has coordinated operations, everybody mostly working towards the same goal. Rumors say that the leaderless group actually has somebody upstairs calling the shots, the Council of Daves. I can't say if it's true or not, but somebody's focusing their efforts. I know because I studied everything about them, even ran a few of their ops. I wanted to emulate them, try to figure out what worked for them and apply it to us. But the members of our Bay Area DedSec couldn't be more different from each other. Now, if there was a spectrum spanning anarchists to activists, we'd probably fill the whole damn thing. But there's one thing that unites the key crew. Each one of us has reason to hate big data, or more specifically, Bloom and its CTOS. I've been overseeing operations, making sure people get to where they need to be with the tools they require. I've got eyes on the big picture. The way I...
Your deck is trash. You've got too many cards. Here, look. Get rid of all your wetlands cards. Your monsters there are all garbage, and you're only getting a +1 synergy bonus. You should be drawing +3 in, like, under 4 turns. Hey!
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Hey. So, I rolled a 12 and just barely made a hit, but it was enough. My paladin was down to 1 life before I was able to heal everyone with a prayer for divine intervention to my deity, Arneson. Oh, hey. Who sent me this? It's awesome.
The app's downloaded and I'm in the park. What am I testing?
Start profiling things around you. People, devices. See what you can pull from them. That's what helps us figure out our next ops. And running ops that are important to people is how we get them interested in DedSec. The more followers download our app, the more intel we get. It's the circle of life.
Oh, and see if you can find some components to help us with our research.
Hipster merchant
The app is your data mining tool.
of death.
Okay, I got this. So what now?
Up to you, man. You're free to do whatever catches your eye. We post ops to the DedSec app, and doing them helps us get followers. And followers are our Skrilla. Followers meaning computers, which boosts our processing power, which lets us do bigger and badder ops.
No lo sé. Ay, ay, ay.
Coming up after the break, we'll be sitting down with a former street artist. Sweet Tea, as he's known in the community, is here to promote a new book of his art and a brand new fashion line, including t-shirts, caps, and bling. Very exciting stuff.
What? Who's fucking around?
lo quisiera gritar.
I don't think so.
Ow! Hey! Hey!
Right, but can I just...
Hey, so what's this about Bobo Dakes?
You know Bobo's working on a new album, right?
Yeah, I heard.
Well, you won't get to hear it? Motherfucker Gene Carcani just put millions on the table to keep it all to himself.
What does a big pharma CEO want with a rap album?
Dude has a huge Bobo collection. And he probably wants to hang that shit on his wall like a damn trophy. Just rubbing his money in our faces, bruh.
Do you know if Bobo took the deal?
He hasn't announced anything yet, but he will. It's a lot of cash.
And maybe there's still time for an intervention.
Time for what?
I assume you guys have heard of Gene Carcani?
He's the shit sack who's on TV laughing about how he's raising the price of leukemia medicine.
Yeah, the most hated man in America? Yeah, why do you ask?
Guy's a huge Bobo Dakes fan. Must have read Bobo's in town recording new tracks, because he's offering millions to keep the album to himself.
So stupid. Bobo will never go for it.
The real one won't. So we're gonna do it for him. I'm gonna visit Bobo and see if I can borrow some of his new tracks as proof that we're legit.
How do we contact Carcani?
I need you guys to run through interviews, podcasts, whatever. Find me some usable lines. We're gonna make a soundboard.
Ooh, I love this.
Marcus, guys, the cyber driver trailer just dropped.
Oh, yeah, sweet. Hey, don't watch it without me.
Meet you at the hackerspace.
I'm on my way.
One more. Oh, come on!
Sí, ya veo. Eso no es...
What the fuck is this?
Retro, feel like stealing some primate intel? You got something for me? One of their lackeys in your neck of the woods. Hack them for what they've got, but make sure you don't get caught. You know how primate do?
That's a pretty cool drone.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, racing drones is the most fun you can have with your socks on. You should get one. You can go swooping around the hills of San Francisco, get a bird's eye view of the entire city. It's great.
You know, I might just do that.
Once you get a drone, you'll see the city in a whole new way, my man. What the heck are you waiting for? Get yourself a drone. What the heck are you waiting for? Get yourself a drone. What the heck are you waiting for? Get yourself a drone.
Block this shit.
Puta madre.
No.
Can't believe my hand slipped. It must have been an earthquake. There's no other way. Huh?
Oh, hey!
So, I rolled a 12 and just barely made a hit, but it was enough.
Marcus, have you seen the trailer for the new Jimmy Siska movie?
No, it's out. Hey, pull it up, man.
No, not on this. For this, we need perfect sound, we need a big screen, we need to be comfy, we need quiet.
Have you seen it yet?
No, man, I'm waiting for you.
You're the best. Thank you.
All right, everybody, we're gonna watch the trailer. Shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
In a world where technology connects everything. I'm not looking for justice, goddammit. One man prowls the information superhighway in search of cyber justice. I'm looking for cyber justice.
Simple line of code could devastate the whole world.
It's gonna be a cyber catastrophe.
Cyber Driver. Hit him with the code flurry, Chip. Jimmy Siska is... Got no choice, kiddies. Follow me, or die. Devin Von Devin.
We gotta get these hackers somewhere safe.
They aren't hackers, Devin. They're just script kiddies.
Hey, the car answered.
This ain't your mama's smart car. I think next time we're gonna need a higher firewall, pal.
Cyber Driver.
Action hero, badass. Talking car. Admit it, Josh. The car is cool. You know what I'm thinking? We cut our own version of that trailer. And that car is gonna help us do it.
Real? Wouldn't have us a ton of followers.
Yo, first, Josh and I will go to the studio to get that script. We'll look around and see what other gems they have about DeathSec, and we'll look for the car.
All right, so what's the deal here? Are we issuing an advisory?
No, why would we do that? They'll just patch the holes.
No, let them. Don't worry, cyber child.
Oh, don't.
Hacker movie's gonna get hacked.
HMP Studios. We are holding you solely responsible for the threat that is Cyber Driver. Cheesy stunts and bad dialogue, we can take. But you've insulted our intelligence, and that we can't excuse. It seems like you could do with a lesson on what hackers are capable of. And since you didn't come to us to learn, we'll come to you to teach. We are launching Operation Hack and Run. We'll show you what hackers can do. We are DeadSec.
Ay, chingado. Dios mío.
Yo, come to see the magic happen? I'll let you watch while I do my thing.
If you wanted magic, maybe you should be watching me work.
Ho ho! Did Luke ride on Yoda's back? I think not.
I was always more of a Lando man myself. On the Millennium Falcon, ran Cloud City, blew up the second Death Star, killer mustache.
Killer mustache. I'm more of a Chewie guy myself. Rips off arms, handy with a hydro spanner, more hair than an 80s Greek porno.
I can see that.
Do you want to? I still have some old tapes.
I'm good.
What? Oh, hey.
Sorry, didn't mean that.
Bro,
my bad.
Oh, hey.
Perdón. ¿Qué onda?
Yo, you interested in taking a turn? We need one more person to play. It's one of those new German games. Yeah?
Shit, that's free road. It won a golden ace. I'd love to, but I'm kind of running late.
Fair enough.
What?
Oh, damn. I'm fucking clumsy, man.
No puede ser. No puede ser. No vale la pena.
This is bullshit.
Adiós, asshole. Ay, perdón.
Why the hell do I need to see this? Whatever, cabrón.
Disculpa.
There's a lot of crazy shit beneath the surface. You know that, or you wouldn't be here, right?
You could say that.
Well, having you here, getting followers to download our app, going public with all this, it'll be good to start seeing what the hell's going on.
So the Von Devon dude is a race car driver whose friend made a smart car. That scientist guy was killed by a hit woman, and somewhere in there, some hackers have to be saved by the car before they fuck up shit for the president.
This movie makes total sense.
Yeah, I'm all in.
Let's talk about Satara. She's been driving DedSec in the Bay Area. The hackerspace, she's paying for it with borrowed money. Every DedSec poster, every flyer, that's Satara. She's even had a hand in our core tool set. Found one of the first 0 days in CTOS 2.0. Some of the guys call her Madam President, but I see her as more of a pirate captain. She'll lead you to the treasure, but you piss her off, you're walking the plank. I had a long talk with her once. Found out where she gets her relentless drive. She's got rich parents back home in Calcutta, and I mean like drive a car in the house rich. They sent her to Ivy League schools, yes, plural, hoping to expand the dynasty, I suppose. But she didn't stick with it. She rejected their money too. Everything she's got now was taken from people she says didn't deserve it. Satara's seen her own relatives pulling strings, taking advantage. She says shit like that will never change because people at the bottom think they can't change it. And she says we're right at the heart of it now, with Silicon Valley pushing us towards a point of no return, replacing elite individuals with unstoppable corporations. Bloom makes the top of her hit list, and she calls CTOS 2.0 their preemptive strike on any opposition.
to stay in touch and form social bonds, even if it's just through meeting up in small groups. It's not certain this pleasure will last for very long, though. The country's strategy does allow for local lockdowns, and Paris has one of the highest infection rates in the country.
Well, there are more developments in the coronavirus pandemic. Britain has announced a series of new restrictions designed to combat a dramatic spike in virus cases. The UK Prime Minister says the new measures could last well into 2021. Spain is battling Western Europe's highest COVID-19 caseload. Madrid, especially hard hit. The government is considering expanding a lockdown to include the entire city of Madrid. Russian President Vladimir Putin has called for the World Health Organization to be strengthened to coordinate the global response to the pandemic. Putin has also offered to share Russia's controversial new coronavirus vaccine with other countries. Well, in conjunction with this week's United Nations General Assembly, climate activists and scientists are joining forces to push political leaders to take action against the climate emergency. Now, scientists are clear on the impact of man-made global warming. More and more people, they are becoming the living evidence.
Ravaged by fire. Large swathes along the west coast of the United States have been devastated. This year's wildfire season has been one of the worst ever. More than 11,000 square kilometers of forest and towns have been reduced to ash and rubble. Entire communities have gone up in smoke.
All of a sudden, the mountains were just ablaze. A few days ago, it was way down to the east, and I wasn't worried about it. And all of a sudden, it just came across without any wind. I couldn't believe it.
In Brazil, too, the number of fires in the wetlands of Pantanal more than doubled in the first half of 2020 compared with last year. Then there's Batagayka crater in the Siberian Arctic, around a kilometer wide and 100 meters deep. It's been created by the melting permafrost. When organic matter melts, it releases greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, and that speeds up global warming.
On a small scale, the processes we are seeing with the Batagayka crater are happening everywhere. Ice melts underground, the ground subsides. That's taking place. So when people look at the Batagayka crater, they can see the perfect example of why you shouldn't joke about the permafrost.
Rising temperatures caused by the climate crisis are leading to more drought. The result is more and more intense wildfires. Grounded planes and a nearly shuttered industry because of COVID-19 saw daily carbon dioxide emissions fall globally by 17% in April compared with 2019. But levels are now increasing again. Experts say action is needed now.
But I think there's also the chance, if now the right measures are being taken, if we invest into low-carbon solutions, renewable energy, sustainable transport, that we can avoid getting back to the previous levels. But this requires political will.
With activists and climate advocates due to take part in 2020's biggest climate event this week in New York, they'll want to kickstart that elusive political will.
All right, and joining me tonight is Miranda Schroyers, Professor of Environmental and Climate Policy at the Bavarian School of Public Policy in Munich. Professor, it's good to have you on the program. You know, we've seen the images of the fires in California. We know that climate change is facilitating the severity of these fires. We still have people like the U.S. president who say it's the result of bad forest management. What do you say to that?
I think it's pretty clear that climate change is progressing because of our CO2 emissions, and forest management is certainly not the main cause of what is going on here. We see these forest fires in Siberia, in Canada, in Brazil, so it's actually a global phenomenon that really is quite frightening.
And where are we in terms of staying true to the Paris Climate Agreement? And of course, the goal is to keep the average global temperature from rising more than 1.5 or 2 degrees Celsius. Are we on track to meet that goal?
Well, yeah, we could be, but we're not. The pandemic has perhaps led to a little bit of a dip in terms of emissions for a short time, but we really need to take some drastic action in the next years in order to bring ourselves on track to a climate neutral 2050. And what we also heard in the summit opening in New York today was the need to really start looking at a much earlier date at 2030 and really pushing big companies, pushing countries to make changes, deep changes in how they go about funding projects, taking subsidies away from fossil fuel industries, shifting us towards renewable energy, away from fossil fuels. We have the technologies to do this. We simply need to make those choices to really start switching and to switch quickly. A 1.5 degree target, we really only have a few years left to cut deeply. We're talking about 50% emission cuts in the next 10 years, so we really need to act now.
Yeah, and these are drastic cuts, but the numbers show that the public is with you. More and more people around the world want these changes. They are concerned about climate change, but the world's biggest polluters, China, the United States, their leaders,
actually have the testing. Yeah, that also is helpful.
And it's not
we know
as deadly
more
as
about
the
the
flu.
virus now than we did months ago, so definitely a better situation now. Hillary Fordwich and Ben Swan, thank you both for breaking this down for us. Pleasure. Now to New York, where a team of mathematics may have finally unlocked the secret of how pointed rock formations known as stone forests have gotten their shapes and what they may have discovered that may be sweeter than you think. Trinity Chavez has more on the story.
The stunning razor-sharp tips in stone forests have long fascinated scientists, but now a team of researchers here in New York are setting out to discover exactly how these magnificent structures are actually formed, and they're doing it with a new sugary experiment. In a new study, researchers from NYU investigated the formation process behind these jagged pillars by simply using candy. To test their simulations in the lab, the team combined granulated table sugar, corn syrup, and water in molds to make blocks and single pillars of solidified candy. Using sticks of the sugary treat, the team discovered that cylindrical shapes can naturally sharpen into point in still water as they dissolve, and no complicated flow is needed. The simulation shows the sharpening effect occurred as the candy dissolved, making it heavier than the surrounding water. Therefore, the sugary water sinks downward, almost like a skin coming off the candy. The co-author said in a statement, "We first discovered the spikes formed by dissolution when we left candy in a water tank and came back later to find a needle-like spire. This drew us into the problem, and we were very excited when we realized the connection to stone pinnacles and stone forests, which have been quite mysterious in their development. We hope our experiments tell a simple origin story behind these landforms." The phenomenon could explain why sharp stone pinnacles are often found where easily dissolvable limestone rock dominates, like the stone forests found in China or Malaysia. While it might take years and sometimes even centuries for an actual stone forest to blossom, the researchers were able to prove that same trick by simply using candy. Reporting in New York, Trinity Chavez, RT.
That's it for now. Catch Boom Bust on demand on the Portable TV app, available on your Apple and Android devices, or simply check it out at portable.tv. And we'll leave you with today's closing numbers. We'll see you next time.
Attention! The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services has officially authorized new benefits that Medicare Advantage plans may include. To get the benefits you deserve, you can call the Medicare Coverage Helpline.
Hi, I'm Joe Name.
If you're on Medicare, this is important information. I called the Medicare coverage helpline and they instantly looked up my coverage. In this one simple call, they offered to enroll me in a plan that includes rides to medical appointments, private home aids, doctors and nurses' visits by telephone, and even home-delivered meals. The plan also includes dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage, all at no additional cost.
Don't delay. Call to see if the new benefits are available in your area.
Call the number on your screen now. It's free.
Call 1-800-673-0065. That's 1-800-673-0065 now.
May your questions birth new questions, numberless as stars, and endless as the sea, and bring you all insight, distance, depth, and more. Lift your eyes to all that remains in question.
Welcome to On Contact. Today we discuss the rise of the new black militancy with film director Mobolaji Olambiwanu.
I mean, the whole idea of my intention in making this film was really to demonstrate that that the healing and the freedom comes from standing up. You know, we don't have control over the laws. We don't have control over the people in power per se, but we do have control over ourselves and our ability to stand up and to speak up. And that freedom comes from that. And I saw the faces of people and I got a sense that they were really experiencing a level of freedom that they had never experienced before in their lives. Despite the fear, despite the terror of tear gas and rubber bullets, etc., they were experiencing freedom that needs to be recognized and acknowledged. When you stand up, you're free.
The police murders of young black men and women in the United States, an average of 3 a day, along with a constant judicial and police harassment of those living in what Malcolm X called our internal colonies, have given birth to a new black militancy. Nowhere was this more evident than in Ferguson, Missouri, following the murder of the teenager Michael Brown on August 9, 2014. His killing by police, which saw his body left in the street for some 4 hours, sparked widespread protests that compounded recently by the police murder of George Floyd, has seen not only the abuse and indiscriminate lethal force employed by police decried, but the chronic poverty and desperation spawned by predatory corporate capitalism. This new militancy does not place its faith in electoral politics, the courts, and legislative reform. It loathes the corporate press and rejects many established black leaders from Barack Obama to Jesse Jackson. It understands that it is only in the streets, through sustained acts of civil disobedience, that genuine change is possible. The new documentary film, Ferguson Rises, looks at the origins of this militancy in Ferguson and what it means for the United States. Joining me to discuss the film is its director, Mobolaji Olambiwanu. So, I thought the film was wonderful on many levels, but I'm going to begin with what I thought was really unique and I thought powerful. And that was your decision to go to Ferguson and interview the white community. Talk a little bit about that, and I think what it illustrated so powerfully was that even people living within the same city, I'm talking about the white population, has just no idea what reality is like for black people on the streets around them.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really difficult thing to actually accomplish because many people were apprehensive of a young African-American filmmaker interviewing them, and they felt like it was potentially going to be a hatchet job. And so it was very difficult to get a lot of white citizens to agree, but we were able to get some to agree, and I think that was really crucial in terms of being able to give a balance to the documentary so we can see the humanity that exists on both sides, but also the challenges that exist on both sides as well.
Were you surprised at how clueless they were? And talk a little bit about how you would characterize their own understanding. They were just befuddled. They couldn't, I mean, I thought it was just some remarkable clips, but talk a little bit about how you would characterize their understanding of what happened and whether that surprised you.
As an immigrant myself to this country who had to learn, I came when I was 9 years old from Nigeria, so I had to learn what it was like to be African American. So I discovered many of these things by virtue of being a black person in this country. So it actually didn't come as much of a shock to me because I had that similar sort of cocooned experience, except by virtue of being an African person and being a black person, I was broken out of that. But they have very little, if any, opportunities to really break them out of that mindset. So it wasn't as surprising. I think what was more surprising to me was that they didn't really understand that those views were sort of linked or connected to some level of racism. I think there was just sort of this cocoon that felt innocent and felt unimpactful, yet that innocence and that cocoon really has a great impact on the people in the community when you don't understand where they're coming from. And I think that's the part that most people don't understand, is that sort of either willful or ignorance, I guess, for lack of a better word, whether willful or not, is really impactful in the black community because they're hurting. The pain is not being seen. That's what I really experienced in talking community.
Well, James Baldwin says that what whites do is confuse ignorance for innocence, and that the longer that ignorance continues, the more people become monsters, to paraphrase Baldwin. Let's talk a little bit about what happens in a city like Ferguson, St. Louis County, because it's not just indiscriminate and often lethal police violence, but it's completely predatory. It's about, I think there's a quote in the film from someone who says if they see a cop, it's not only that their life is in jeopardy, but they assume they're going to be robbed. And there is a huge economic aspect to the oppression that is visited on African Americans, not only in Ferguson, but in most poor urban areas. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I mean, in Ferguson, clearly, like many poor areas across the country, there was a heavy practice of ticketing, and then those tickets would eventually turn into warrants because people were not able to pay them. And because the municipalities in St. Louis were so close together, what often happened is people would get the same ticket over and over again in different municipalities on their way driving to work, on their way driving back, and so they would build up so many tickets and so many warrants that actually there are many times in which people actually committed suicide because they just could not get out from underneath this debt, and they just could not see any other way out, unfortunately, other than to commit suicide or to do something really desperate. And that's how bad it really got, was that it became a debtor's prison in many of these communities across St. Louis and across the country. I think it's still going on. It's just it got exposed in St. Louis.
Well, we should be clear that these are people are being pulled over for a burned out taillight. We're not talking about crimes, in many cases invented crimes, because 30% of the revenue in St. Louis County, they write it into the budget every year, comes from revenues. So you can get arrested for mowing your lawn, not mowing your lawn, obstructing pedestrian traffic, which means standing on a sidewalk. It's just an endless litany of charges.
Manners, walking the road.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the killing of Michael Brown, because that began with that particular issue.
So, as I understand it, I mean, he and his friend were walking down the middle of the street. If you've ever been to Canfield Green Apartments, you know that the sidewalks are so tiny and that the road is blocked on one end, and it's pretty much, it's not a major road by any stretch of the imagination, so there's no real danger in the sense that there's no one really driving on that street for the most part during the daytime. And again, the sidewalks are really tiny, so they're walking in the middle of the street so they can actually talk side by side as men do. Usually they're walking, talking to each other, but that's impossible if you walk on the sidewalk, so you have to walk in the street. So they were sort of forced by the structure of the environment to walk in the middle of the street, and then the police officer came by and told them to get out of the street, is how they describe it, but in less nice terms than that. And then that's when the altercation began that led to Michael Brown's death. Of course, none of us was really there to witness exactly what happened, so we can't say for sure, but the assumption is that basically there was a confrontation between the two of them. And ironically enough, in talking to the parents, Michael Brown had been harassed by Darren Wilson before on many occasions, so I think there was some sort of animosity there already that he generally had for either Michael Brown or the black citizens of Ferguson in general, who had also been harassed by him as well. So there was something that took place that eventually led to his death. But it's in talking to all the police officers and other folks who were in that area, that is not standard practice to get out of your car and pursue a suspect and shoot them down. If the issue is really that serious, you back away and they fall away from the car, you back away, and then you call for backup and you get out of there. So the idea that it escalated to that extent, even police officers were baffled that I talked to as well.
And that was it. That kind of set this kindling, which had long been building in Ferguson, as it has in other cities, afire. And how did the community respond, which you spend a lot of time in the film documenting?
How did the community respond? I mean, it varied. I think many people were shocked. Even many of the white citizens were shocked, because I mean, Ferguson's a small enough town that it's rare that someone actually gets killed with any high level of frequency. So for this to happen, I think it was really shocking for many of the town members and many of the community members, and even some of the folks that lived in Canfield Green, because they had to see the body on the ground for 4.5 hours, uncovered for the vast majority of that time, walking home with their children. So it was very traumatizing for their children, very traumatizing for them to see this, and to have it handled in the way it was handled, without covering the body, without taking the body away. I think really built up tensions and animosity in the community. And that with the heavy ticketing practices, with the harassment and the things that were going on, it was sort of this powder keg waiting to erupt. And this really sort of pushed everybody over the edge.
Did you ever find out why? Did the police ever explain why they left the body unattended, uncovered for that length of time in the street?
Some of the police officers that I spoke to were from St. Louis in general. They weren't from the Ferguson area, because the Ferguson Police Department was not allowed to speak to me at that time. But they were just estimating that they just hadn't really encountered this problem before, and they were trying to figure out the best way to deal with the crime scene. I find that a little hard to believe, that even if you hadn't encountered before, that you couldn't cover the body, that somehow that would tamper with the crime scene. I'm not sure. But that's what they said, that they probably were just confused and didn't really know how to handle the scene. It's not for me to say that whether or not that was true or not, but it doesn't seem realistic to me. But that's what they told me.
And then you have the buildup towards the verdict on the police officer. I found that moment really quite amazing in the film, because number one, they choose to announce at night when potentially you're going to have far more problems, but also this long, I think it was 40 minutes, but just explain that process and then what happened.
I mean, it just, I guess for many people, they wanted to hear the verdict and they didn't want to hear sort of the complaints about the media, the bloggers, all those other things, but he had this, well, for one, I think McCullough, who was prosecuting Darren Wilson, had this long history and connection to the police department himself, with his father being a former police officer killed by an African American. So there was a lot of sort of connection that he had to it, which is why people wanted him to recuse himself from the case, because of his connections to the police department. Is also supporting and helping fund the police department as well, or their union. And so his then going on and speaking for 45 minutes, making the announcement at night, seemed like it was a perfect sort of setup to bring in and marshal the forces and have everything turn into something that then would make the community itself look like they were the real enemy of the state. And I think in that way.
Okay, we're going to take a break.
Oh, sure.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion with director Molambaji Alembiwano.
This is Kate.
Hey.
She takes 2 prescriptions. Kate's son Jack takes 1 too. Kate works hard and thought she had good insurance. But she still pays too much. That's no good. So Kate downloaded the GoodRx app. Now she can compare prescription prices to find the best discounts. She even beats her insurance price. Good for you, Kate. Good for you. GoodRx. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions. Download the free app today.
Do you know what you've got in your hand? You might think it's a phone, but in the news, we see it as TV. With Pluto TV, the free and unlimited TV app, you can get TV everywhere for free. And since TV is everywhere, so is RT. Streaming on all your favorite devices, outdoors or inside, any time of day or night. Catch all of our award-winning shows, news, and cutting-edge analysis everywhere you look and wherever you go. Question more.
I think the average viewer, just after watching a couple of segments, understands that we're telling stories that our critics can't tell. And you know why? Because their advertisers won't let them. In order to create change, you have to be honest. You have to tell the truth. RT's able to do that. Every story is built on going after the backstory to what's really happening out there to the American public. What's happening when a corporation makes a pharmaceutical that kills people? When a company in the environmental business ends up polluting a river that causes cancer and other illnesses, they put all the health risk, all the dangers out to the American public. Those are stories that we...
We're developing new communal ways of handling problems and dealing with one another that didn't exist prior. So we saw a lot of growth in those communities despite the lack of change on the judicial side of things.
Well, I don't think it would be pushing too far to say, at least I got this from the film, that solidarity, that organizing, that act of resistance itself was a form of healing. That was the message I took away.
Yeah, yes, indeed. I mean, I think the whole idea is that, the whole idea of my intention in making this film was really to demonstrate that that the healing and the freedom comes from standing up. We don't have control over the laws. We don't have control of the people in power per se, but we do have control over ourselves and our ability to stand up and to speak up, and that freedom comes from that. And I saw the faces of people, and I got a sense that they were really experiencing a level of freedom that they had never experienced before in their lives. Despite the fear, despite the terror of tear gas and rubber bullets, etc., they were experiencing freedom that needs to be recognized and acknowledged. When you stand up, you're free.
Great, thank you. That was the director of Ferguson Rises, Mobolaji Olambiwano, speaking to me from California. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Take live news anywhere you go. Plus an elegantly curated online video library with a built-in search engine.
It will fit right in your pocket. It's free. Interactive digital architecture. Stars will talk to you.
See? Thousands of episodes to explore, videos uploaded every hour. So what on earth are you waiting for? Blast off with portable TV.
I think the average viewer, just after watching a couple of segments, understands that we're telling stories that our critics can't tell. And you know why? Because their advertisers won't let them. In order to create change, you have to be honest. You have to tell the truth. RT's able to do that. Every story is built on going after the backstory to what's really happening out there to the American public. What's happening when a corporation makes a pharmaceutical that kills people? When a company in the environmental business ends up polluting a river that causes cancer and other illnesses, they put all the health risks, all the dangers out to the American public. Those are stories that we tell every week, and you know what? They're working.
When the host asks a question to the guest and then actually listens to the guest's answer and then reacts to that answer. Hey folks, Dennis Miller here. I've got a new show.
Guten Tag. RW. Haben Sie eine Einladung? Ja, ja. Strenge Kontrolle. Einen Blick drauf, werfen noch so wirklich eine Einladung rein. Alles klar. Und Sie? Danke. Sie steht da drauf. Ah. Hello. Hi. Werner Bote. Where do you come from? West Virginia. West Virginia? Yes. So why do you come to this place?
Well, because RWE is part owner of an operation that's destroying my home.
It's destroying your home?
Yes. This mountaintop removal mining. This is I took these photos just last week, and this is what they're doing. So RWE owns a significant share of this operation.
And there's a lot of pollution, I guess?
There's a lot of pollution. This is what it's doing to the water.
Oh my God.
Excuse me?
This is the water. This is what it's doing to the water that comes from his kitchen sink like that.
From the kitchen sink?
Yes. You have to question the integrity of a company that talks about themselves as becoming increasingly green, and while the rest of the world went to Paris last year and agreed that climate change is real and we have to do something about it, here's a company that now owns 10% of one of the dirtiest forms of fossil fuels on the planet. So where is the integrity of this company?
Das ist richtig so. Parlament, jetzt kommt der große Diktator.
Liebe Aktionärinnen, liebe Aktionäre und Mitglieder des RWE Investorenclubs. Meine Damen und Herren, RWE ist schon heute grüner als viele denken. 2015 war ein Jahr, das an die Substanz ging.
Ze was de